Psychoacoustics, okay.
Yeah, it basically deletes all the underlying audio frequencies that the human ear doesn't strictly need to recognize the song. It strips away the warmth to compress the file down to a fraction of the size.
Oh, wow. So you're saying the source document is basically an audio compression algorithm for human knowledge?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. A story provides context, emotion, and setting. It's the warmth of the WAV file.
Right.
But all that takes up time. By limiting the core to 3 to 5 defined concepts and stripping away all that narrative fluff, the document demands an MP3.
Yeah.
It transfers the exact same core data in a fraction of the time, even if it loses the emotional resonance.
But wait, music sounds noticeably worse as an MP3. Like, audio files hate compression because it flattens the art.
Sure, audiophiles hate it, but you can fit 10,000 MP3s in your pocket.
Good point.
It is a calculated trade-off between fidelity and capacity. The author of this text believes that detailed examples are a luxury we simply cannot afford within a 10-minute window.
So it's prioritizing capacity over everything else.
Precisely. It bypasses what neuroscientists call episodic memory. That's the part of your brain that remembers events and stories.
Okay.
And instead, it relies entirely on semantic memory, which is the brain's raw database of facts and concepts.
That places an unimaginable burden on the clarity of your definition, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if your 70-word definition isn't perfectly crystal clear the first time, it's going to fail completely. You don't have a backup story to prop it up and explain what you actually meant.
It is a high-wire act without a net. You're essentially handing the listener the raw engine block without bothering to put it inside a car.
Which leads us to the inevitable collision with reality here. The breaking point.
Yeah. Because when you restrict the time so severely, capping it at 10 minutes absolute maximum, and you completely ban stories, what happens when you inevitably have too much information to share?
And you always do.
Always. In the real world, whether you're pitching a product, summarizing research, or just giving a quarterly update, there is always too much information.
Well, the document anticipates this. And its solution brings us to the final and undoubtedly most psychologically demanding section of the framework. The editing directives.
This is where it gets brutal.
It really does.
Yeah.
The text explicitly tells the speaker to prioritize key ideas and remove details.
But the crowning mandate, the unbreakable law of this document, is phrased with this terrifying finality. It literally says, if too long, cut content instead of extending. Must not exceed 10 minutes.
Cut content instead of extending.
Yeah.
That goes against every natural instinct a subject matter expert possesses.
It is a brutal form of cognitive triage.
That's a good way to put it. Think about it. When we have too much to say, our instinct is always to expand the container.
Right.
We ask for a longer meeting, we talk a little faster, we just try to squeeze it all in.
We've all done it.
Exactly. But this document acts like an emergency room doctor for your ideas. It tells you that the 10-minute clock is the absolute limit of the life support system.
Wow.
If you have too many concepts, you have to decide which ones live and which ones die. So what does this all mean in practice? It's exactly like packing a tiny carry-on suitcase for a flight.
Okay, I like this.
If the zipper won't close, you aren't allowed to just go buy a bigger bag.
Wow.
You are forced to throw your favorite clothes in the trash until that zipper closes perfectly.
Let's explore why that is so incredibly painful for a presenter.
It really is painful.
It is. Because human nature is to stretch boundaries, you know. Just one more minute.
Just one more slide.
Exactly. When we're passionate about a subject, or when we just want to prove our own competence, we assume our information is universally vital.
We think everyone needs to hear it.
We feel that the boundary should yield to accommodate our brilliance. I mean, how many times have you been in a meeting where someone says, I know we are over time, but I just have one more slide to get through?
Oh my gosh, I see it almost every day.
Right.
And the entire room subtly groans, but the speaker just keeps going because they feel their last point is just too important to skip.
And that moment is a fundamental clash of values.
How so?
The speaker is valuing their own content over the listener's time.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
This framework completely, violently flips that dynamic. It treats the 10-minute boundary as sacred, and it treats the presenter's actual content as highly disposable.
Treating your own hard work and research as disposable is a bitter pill to swallow.
It's awful.
You have to look at a concept you spent hours, maybe days developing, and physically throw it in the trash just to protect the clock.
It requires you to check your ego at the door.
Totally.
Because if it, without a shadow of a doubt that the microphone will be cut at 10 minutes.
And you can't speed up.
Right. You are forbidden from speaking faster than 140 words per minute to sneak more in.
Yeah.
That forces you into an incredibly effective prioritization. You have to ruthlessly interrogate your own ideas. You must look at your fourth concept and ask, is this truly necessary for the listener to understand the whole, or is this just a fun fact that proves how smart I am?
You literally have to kill your darlings.
You do.
But, when you reframe it like that, it stops looking like a punishment for the speaker, and it actually starts looking like profound respect for the audience.
Exactly. It is the ultimate act of empathy for the listener's cognitive load.
I love that. Empathy for their cognitive load.
Yeah. It guarantees them that they will not be held hostage to rambling thoughts, half-baked tangents, or, self-indulgent anecdotes.
Right.
It promises the room that every single second of that 8 to 10 minutes has been evaluated, fought over, and deemed absolutely essential.
So let's zoom out a bit and look at the whole concrete building we've just toured today.
Let's do it.
This pasted text manifesto basically rests on 3 unyielding pillars.
Okay.
First, the mathematical precision of the delivery. Exactly 1,000 to 1,300 words, delivered at a relentless metronomic pace of exactly 140 words per minute.
Yep. Second, the stark, storyless architecture.
The 70-word intro.
Right, the 70-word introduction. The 3 to 5 concepts stripped down to bare definitions and brief explanations. And of course, the absolute ban on using long stories or detailed examples as a crutch.
And third, the ruthless editing philosophy. The belief that the 10-minute boundary is a sacred pact with your audience, requiring you to sacrifice your own content and cut ideas before you ever dare to ask the listener for more of their time.
It is just a radical departure from how we are generally taught to communicate.
It really is.
It strips away the art of rhetoric and completely replaces it with the science of data transfer.
Which brings us to a challenge for you listening right now. Because theory is interesting, but application is where it gets real.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, next time you have to give an update at a team meeting, or maybe you're pitching a new idea to your boss, try adopting these exact brutalist rules.
See what happens.
Exactly. Run your script through a word counter. Set a metronome to 140 beats per minute and read it out loud.
That's going to be tough.
It is. Ban your own stories. See what happens when you force yourself to highlight a slide you really like and just hit the delete key, simply because keeping it pushes you to 10 minutes and 1 second.
Yeah, prepare for it to feel incredibly unnatural at first.
Oh, it will.
You'll feel totally exposed. Without your anecdotes and your jokes to hide behind, the structural integrity of your actual ideas will be completely naked.
Right.
But you might also discover a level of clarity and authority you never knew you possessed.
I genuinely want you to try it because the reaction from your audience might actually shock you. They might thank you for giving them their time back.
They probably will.
But as we wrap up this deep dive, we have to look back at the whole picture and ask the hard question about this methodology.
We do. We have to evaluate the ultimate efficacy of this brutalist approach to human cognition.
Which leaves us with a final provocative question to turn over in your mind after this is over.
Okay.
If we successfully adhere to every single rule in this document,
If we compress the audio file, strip away all the emotional warmth, ban the engaging long stories, and just systematically execute our favorite examples just to perfectly fit this rigid 10-minute window.
do we actually succeed in delivering a higher concentration of pure, usable information?
That's the goal, right?
Right. Or do we just deliver a mathematically flawless, perfectly timed skeleton of an idea that completely crumbles to dust the moment the listener walks out of the room?